While most NBA players are very tall human beings that tower over the majority of society, that is not always the case, as some are more vertically challenged than others. That doesn't mean that these players weren't able to go on and have impressive careers in the league though. As the old adage goes, it's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog. Here are the 5 greatest NBA players ever, 6 feet and under. Number 5, Calvin Murphy. At 5'9", Murphy had to get creative with ways to score. The NBA didn't implement a three-point line until the latter half of his career, and even then, Calvin only made 13.9% of his threes in those 4 seasons. So, the fact that he was still able to average 17.9 points per game over his 13-year career is even more noteworthy. Murphy primarily relied on his ability to blow past his defenders and drive to the hole with reckless abandon. He played college ball at Niagara University, where he averaged 33.1 points per game. While you may be thinking he was just taking advantage of bad competition having gone to a school not known for basketball, Calvin once dropped 68 on Syracuse in the game and led Niagara to the second round of the NCAA tournament. Over the span of his career, Murphy did enough to earn himself a spot in both the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame and the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame. His number 23 is retired by the Houston Rockets. Number 4, Isiah Thomas. Yes, we mean this Isiah Thomas. The older one does not qualify as he was listed at 6'1". Although Isiah's time in the spotlight was cut short due to trades and injuries, he did enough during his prime to be mentioned on this list. Over a 6-season period with the Kings, Suns, and Celtics, Thomas averaged 20.3 points per game. During this window, Isiah elevated himself to temporary legendary status as a Celtic, specifically during the 2016-17 campaign when he averaged 28.9 points and 5.9 assists per game as he helped the Celtics to the number 1 seed in the East and finished 5th in MVP voting that year. It seemed like Thomas had finally found a permanent home in Boston, playing for his 3rd different team. He led the Celtics to the Eastern Conference Finals, but did not play the rest of the series after Game 2 due to a hip injury. Isiah had powered through a nagging injury and the tragic, sudden death of his sister earlier in the playoffs. Showing his heart of a lion, Thomas played the day after her passing and scored 33 in a first-round game against the Bulls before going off for 53 on her birthday in a second-round matchup with the Wizards. These are performances that will not soon be forgotten. After giving it everything he had and getting them so close to the finals, the Celtics traded him to Cleveland that offseason. Since then, Isiah's career has been plagued with injuries and trades, as he has now suited up for a total of 8 different teams. Number 3, Kyle Lowry. Lowry barely makes the cut here, as he is listed right at 6 feet. While his height nearly kept him from qualifying, his resume was never in question. Kyle is a 6-time All-Star and face of a franchise who helped bring Toronto its first ever NBA title in 2019. It wasn't until Lowry became a Raptor that he really solidified himself as a top guard in the league. Prior to joining Toronto in 2012, Kyle averaged just under 10 points per game in his first 6 seasons with the Grizzlies and Rockets. Since leaving the country and heading up north, Lowry has averaged 17.5 points and 7.1 assists per game over 9 seasons. He also made 6 straight All-Star teams during that stretch. The biggest knock on him was that he and the Raptors had never won anything significant, as they would routinely get bounced from the playoffs by LeBron and the Cavs. That all changed though when LeBron left Cleveland for LA and Toronto traded for Kawhi. With Leonard by his side, Lowry helped the Raptors end the Warriors dynasty, at least for now, and in the discussions about him not being a winner. In that 6-game series against Golden State, Kyle averaged 16.2 points, 7.2 assists, 4 rebounds, and 1.7 steals per game. Lowry still has a few seasons left in the tank, so he can further pad his already impressive list of achievements. Number 2, Chris Paul. From the moment he entered the league back in 2005, Chris Paul has been special. He was named Rookie of the Year as he averaged 16.1 points, 7.8 assists, 5.1 rebounds, and 2.2 steals per game. That was a sign of big things to come for the point guard, and the first of many accolades as well. CP3 is now a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, 11-time All-Star, 9-time All-Defensive Teamer, 6-time league steals leader, and 4-time league assist leader. During his 16 seasons, Paul has averaged 18.3 points, 9.4 assists, 4.5 rebounds, and 2.1 steals per game. This year, he became the 6th NBA player ever to record 10,000 assists and currently sits 5th all-time in that category. While these numbers certainly speak volumes for the type of player CP3 has been, they don't actually tell the full story of his legacy and impact. Although he had been criticized for his teams almost always fizzling out in the playoffs, that has not always been a fair criticism. CP3 has played an integral role in turning around 4 different franchises now. First, he made the Clippers relevant for the first time in ages, but I'm not going to defend the lack of postseason success there. Then, he had the Rockets 1 win away from the finals in 2018 as they had a 3-2 series lead over the Warriors in the Western Conference Finals before a hamstring injury kept him out of Games 6 and 7. Third, he led a Thunder squad to the playoffs, who were supposed to tank that season. Finally, look at what he's done with the Phoenix Suns at the age of 36. This season has cemented his place in history as one of the best point guards to ever lace him up. Number 1. Allen Iverson. Arguably, pound for pound, the greatest player of all time, Allen Iverson was a one-of-a-kind talent. Not only was he only 6 feet tall, but he also weighed only 165 pounds. He has said that he didn't lift weights while in the league because they were too heavy. This lack of size and strength didn't stop Iverson from shredding NBA defenses, though. His first step was unfair and video game-like, and his crossover would leave defenders needing ankle braces and ice. His nickname, The Answer, is ironic because opposing teams had no answer for stopping him. The 11-time All-Star led the league in scoring 4 different seasons, steals 3 times, and averaged 26.7 points, 6.2 assists, and 2.2 steals per game over his 14-year career. After winning Rookie of the Year in 1997, Iverson was named league MVP just 4 years later. That 2001 campaign was a special one for not only Allen, but also the entire city of Philly, as he led the Sixers to their first NBA Finals since 1983. Unfortunately for Iverson and Philly, they ran into Shaq and Kobe's Lakers, who were not going to lose to anyone. It was an impressive feat that the 76ers even got 1 game off the Lakers, and losing the others was not Iverson's fault, as he averaged 35.6 points, 5.6 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and 1.8 steals per game during that season. Allen never got the chance to play on loaded teams throughout his career, and that definitely played a role in him never returning to the finals. Just look at the Sixers team he carried there in 2001. Other than a 34-year-old Dikembe Mutombo, the Answer did not have much help. From his off-the-court antics, playing ability on the court, and style on and off of it, there most likely will never be another player like Allen Iverson.